Great Lakes Loons. Coming up in the second inning, we'll have Michael Curry on the phone with us. In the meantime, though, stay tuned. Well, of course, I think everyone around here wishes we had the real thing of TinCaps baseball on a beautiful, thirsty Thursday. But, in the meantime, safe and sound. And where are you joining us from right now?
So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. My fiance and I, we're still out here, as you may know, living it up in our home on wheels. But yeah, we're out here right now. We're probably going to head back east, back home to family in a couple weeks, we're hoping. So, but yeah, we're here in 110 weather on the phone with you. I'm sure you're in a lot better weather there in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, pretty beautiful here tonight, 80 degrees or so. So can you repeat again, what is the temperature right now in the Phoenix area?
Let me see. It's currently 103. That's the high today. It's 103 right now.
I've never been out there in the desert this time of year, but I guess I understand they say it's a dry heat. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it's believe it or not, it's how much I miss the East. I miss the humidity, which is odd to say, but it's just the dry heat out here in Arizona. It's like you're in an oven, and you don't sweat. You're just hot. You just roast. But, it's nice. When we first got out here in spring training, late February, we loved it. It was 75, cool at night. Now it's like we see the campground we're staying at starting to empty out, and we're kind of connecting the dots, and we realize why. It gets too hot here, people head out.
Yeah, for sure. And Michael grew up in the Southeast, went to the University of Georgia, just like Cole Wilcox, who we've got starting here for the virtual TinCaps tonight. And that's now another strikeout for Wilcox, his third. And so Michael, drafted by the Padres a couple years ago, played here in Fort Wayne last year. And so the reason that you're in Phoenix, of course, you were at Padres spring training in Peoria back in March until mid-March when everything shut down. So what has life been like since?
Yeah, it's been pretty insane, I would say. It's a lot of stuff going on. I got out here with, like I said, late February, and then really it just felt like as soon as camp started, we turned around and sent home. Ever since then, it's just been kind of in limbo, it feels like, with a lot of things. You don't know. You're waiting for that drop of the hat and say, hey, we're playing, come back. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're on edge. You're kind of just anticipating. You don't know what to expect. But really, ever since then, I guess, it's just my responsibility to stay ready, be prepared for whatever, and just trying to take it day at a time, stay busy. Most importantly, try to keep myself stay busy, work out, do any baseball-related things I can, and just keep my mind going. Try not to get all lost in this quarantining.
Yeah, I'm sure that's easier said than done. And obviously, a lot of guys, whether they were at spring training in Arizona or Florida when things shut down, for a lot of guys, they wound up then going home, wherever that would be. In a lot of cases, for guys in their late teens, early 20s, maybe even with mom or dad. But you had bought this RV that during the off season you had transformed into really being a space where you and your fiance Liz could live. So I mean, that's an awesome thing. I'm sure now it hasn't gone exactly as planned, for better or worse, but what has that side of life been like?
Okay, I'm gonna have to pause you because I'm up to bat right here and I'm expecting great things out of you. I'm live streaming. Let's see what we got here. Hang on, Johnny.
Yeah, there's about a 2-second delay in between us. And so we got Zach Webb, our video production intern, at the controls. Break it down for us there. What did you think about how you looked and then the approach?
I will say you gave me the big lower half. I respect it. As far as the outcome there. I don't know what that backside one hop to second, that's not it for me. We're turning and burning. You know that, John. Elevate and celebrate. Come on.
Exactly, and Michael got to do quite a bit of that last year. Fell a little bit shy, just barely. I think a handful of at-bats from or plate appearances from officially qualifying as a league leader, but third in the league last year in OPS, fifth in average, fifth in OBP, around there in slugging percentage too. And so, yeah, on the topic of last year, how was your experience playing in Fort Wayne and around the Midwest, but especially at Parkview Fields, and getting your first full pro season under your belt?
Yeah, whenever we started this call and you said Thursday, I was like, oh my gosh. That just kind of brought back a lot of memories from last year. And I was like, wow, today is actually Thursday, and it would be rowdy at Parkview Field. But now, playing there, playing for the TinCaps, that was one heck of an experience. I mean, one of the, best experience I've had playing in a stadium like that. Being able to call that our home field was pretty awesome. Definitely miss it, man. Fort Wayne was a blast. I had made a lot of friends, made a lot of memories. But yeah, so Fort Wayne is definitely being missed at this time, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so just to jump back to what we were discussing, when you played here in Fort Wayne, you lived with most of your teammates in a local apartment complex, but congratulations, I should say, first and foremost, by the way, on your engagement. So now, as you take a new step in your personal life, you're planning to have different arrangements for whichever affiliate the Padres sent you to for this season, right?
Right, yeah, and so that's kind of, going back to last year, my fiance, girlfriend at the time, Liz, she came out and visited and stayed with me for about a month and a half in Fort Wayne. And so, we wanted to be together, and we found a way to make it work as far as going from hotels to Airbnbs, and it was a lot, man. It was a lot. And financially, it was a lot, too. It's a burden. So, and Liz, believe it or not, Liz came to me with the idea. She said, hey, a lot of people are getting RVs, they're renovating it, they're just living in their RV. She saw some other couples do it, and I wasn't for it. I was like, no, I was ignorant of how cool it could be. Because I was like, I'm not living in that, I'm not doing that. But she said, okay, fine, I'll just go get a big girl job, and then, we won't be together for 6-7 months out of the year. I was like, okay, hang on, let me sit down and think about it. And so I kind of dove into it a little bit, and I got hooked on it. It was almost like overnight. I went to her. I was like, you know what? Maybe you're right. As much as it hurts to say that, you are right, Liz. We should look into this. And we just kind of went from there, and we got the RV in the off season, renovated it, packed up, headed out here in February, and we've been living full time in our RV, and we wouldn't have it any other way, man. It's been a blast. And believe it or not, it's funny whenever, I don't know if I should say funny, but whenever they sent us home from spring training, everyone was freaking out like, well, I just signed this month lease, or I'm with this Airbnb, we just signed this deal, and people were trying to figure out flights, and I'm like, well, my home's right up the street. I'll leave when I want. But I was kind of flaunting that to guys as they were trying to figure out what to do as far as getting home, getting out of their payments and stuff like that. So that was a little kind of perfect time in there to have an RV. A little positive and all the negative, I guess you could say. But no, it's been a blast, man. We've been full time in it, and even in this Arizona heat, we're just really enjoying it right now.
Yeah, as we just wrapped up the second inning, we'll keep Michael Curry, 2019 TinCaps outfielder, on with us now into the third inning too. And I'm glad that you're able to have that perspective to still find some of the silver linings here. And as you touched upon, just some of the financial challenges that a minor league baseball player comes across as really just an everyday guy. I know sometimes maybe fans lose sight of the fact that there's a significant difference between multi-millionaire big leaguers and your average minor league player, and it's only the guys in the top few rounds who are so lucky to get a signing bonus that may put a million or more, or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars in their bank account. But for you as a guy who was drafted on day 3, 16th round pick out of Georgia, you don't unfortunately have those millions in the bank. And so what has it meant to you that, yes, sorry to bring up the reality, but what has it meant to you during this period with no games that the Padres were the first team to guarantee that they were going to continue to pay their minor league players all the way through, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I definitely want to start out with a topic like this by first saying how appreciative I am of the San Diego Padres. I feel like they they have done an exceptional job as far as taking care of their employees and minor leaguers, keeping us all, in their thoughts. So, and then to see how they're going to continue to pay us through all of this, I mean, it's just an honor to be able to call myself a Padre and be a part of that type of organization that looks out, for all their employees. So definitely shout out to the San Diego Padres for that. And I think, moving along, that's one of the biggest misconceptions I think people have as far as, quote, being a professional athlete, right? I mean, my fiance has a work-from-home job, and she's the breadwinner. That's how it works. I mean, because that's just the reality of it. Now, I will say that I feel like some light has been shined on that topic recently in the past few months, considering, the uproar with our minor leaguers going to get paid when all this first happened. And so I think people are starting to become aware of, what it's really truly like financially for a minor league baseball player. A lot of us, we have jobs in the off season. A lot of us currently have jobs now because we need them, and so it can be tough, and it's just, like I said, I'm in a better position than other people may be as far as because the Padres did decide to continue paying us. So I count myself as one of the lucky ones. I know stuff came out about the Oakland A's not getting paid, which I think may have got changed. I'm not sure, but no, it's good to know that I'm in good hands with the San Diego Padres, and yeah, it's a tough subject. It's a tough thing to talk about when the reality is like most of us in the minor league system, we don't have the funds. It ain't, living ain't free. It ain't free to live. So it was definitely, we have to sacrifice. We have to work. It's funny. I have a joke I tell my friend. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm saying it anyways. I don't really care.
Usually a good policy.
It's hey, you play for the Padres? Yeah, I'm part-time. I work part-time for them. It's kind of like my running.
Yeah, there's truth to that.
Exactly. But no, as far as, I think, like I said, I think that's the biggest misconception is, I was talking to one of my buddies back home, and they were under the assumption, they made the comment saying, we talked on this topic, and I explained it all to them, the paychecks, especially in Fort Wayne where, we have to pay for our housing. So that, I explained that all to him, and he was so blown away. He was like, I thought you were sitting back here rolling in the dough, he said. Rolling in the dough. I said, well, no. And so yeah, I think there's a big misconception out there. But like I said, I think it has been noticed lately, and people are starting to understand that what it's really like as a minor leaguer. And I know that's in the process of changing, I strongly believe. So, but no, at the end of the day, you got to live your life and you need money. And so we'll do what we have to do as part of the, quote, grinders, right? We'll find a way. We'll find a way to get by. But luckily, I have the support of Liz. She's got a job. She's supporting us right now. And, of course, the San Diego Padres are keeping their minor leaguers in mind through all this. So as far as that, very grateful.
Yeah, and one thing that you may have heard me talk about with Michael last year that really separated him from the majority of guys going through the course of the grind of a minor league baseball season. But Michael was, during the season last year, still taking online classes, working towards his degree at the University of Georgia. That was in business, right? And so I don't know how you were able to manage being one of the top hitters in the Midwest League while still doing your homework after a night in which you may hit a home run during the summer, for that matter. What was that experience like, and how are you doing there as you work towards your degree?
Yeah, man, I'm still chucking away. I should be done in the spring. Like I said, I switched my major. I'm sure we got a conversation about it. I switched my majors and it set me back a little bit. But
somehow computer science you can't do online. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, ironically, I was computer science, and ironically, University of Georgia, I was unable to finish my degree online with a computer science degree. So that
Go
just
figure.
blew me away. But no, I mean, to be honest with you, John, it sounds funny or maybe odd that I say this, but a big part of me really enjoys the fact that I'm taking classes while doing this pro ball thing, because it's kind of my it's kind of my escape. It kind of keeps my head at an even keel. Like, hey, I don't know, for 4 night, 3 punchies, like, okay, well, I got to go study for this accounting test. You know what I mean? It kind of keeps me going. It keeps my mind in the right place. And yeah, a part of me really enjoys it, man. I really do. And it's really rewarding. And I'm just waiting to get the diploma. I know when it is done, it'll be really, really fun, really good. But no, that's kind of like the big thing too. People think it's crazy, but you know what? It's kind of my escape. It keeps me level-headed, and I enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah, well, best of luck to you as you work towards that degree and also continue to chase your big league dreams. Speaking of Georgia, we have mentioned that we've got Cole Wilcox, one of the recent Padres draft picks from just last week, virtually playing for the TinCaps here. And now Wilcox gets to throw at the lead, as I think that one cleared the wall for Torrey Hunter, the legend. But I know that Cole and you did not overlap at Georgia. You missed each other as teammates by a year. But what do you know about Cole? What could hopefully Padres fans look forward to with him?
I think Cole's going to fit in just nice. Cole's a great guy. You know, he's got some Southern hospitality to him. Great kid. You know, we missed each other by a year playing together, but we spent some time. We, you know, talked in the off season, ran into each other here and there during working out and stuff like that. Great kid. You know, obviously his stuff is electric, and I couldn't believe he was still available in the 3rd round. But I think the Padres made the right move, and he's going to be something really special to this organization, and he's got a chance to really fly up there super quick. So it's going to be fun. And to know he's a dog. He's a dog, so, you know, I'm already a huge fan. I'm already going to be there to support him. Anyone asks me about him, I'm going to be like, yep, that's a guy. You need to go with him. But no, that was exciting. That was really cool to see another Georgia Bulldog off the board going to the Padres.
Yeah, we're rooting for a couple of dogs to make it to Petco, and now we've got you up again, and Zach has you in an 0-2 hole.
Don't throw me a fastball out. I'll swing it, I promise.
And it falls down in right field for a base hit. Hunter scores. It's an RBI base hit for Michael Curry, and the TinCaps extend their lead.
Man, I couldn't even slide there at the moment it happened, but did I get a knock?
It was a line drive to right field.
Really?
It may have been a blooper, but I called it as a line drive.
Dude, doubles and dingers. Let's go. What's my power? Would you put my power on there?
I'm not sure. We're going to have to double check on that. But, hey, 2-strike approach there, shortened up, and dunks it out to right field, gets the run in with 2 outs, and it's 2-0 Fort Wayne.
Yep, that's the Padres way right there. little nub single right there. Get the job done.
Way to go. Well, hey, we appreciate all this time you've given us. What else do you have to update fans with, or any message to fans in Fort Wayne?
Just patient. You know, we're eager too, eager just as much as you guys are. We want to get out there and play. But most importantly, just stay safe. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your masks.
Yes, that is very essential. Can't say it any better here myself. Well, Michael, thanks so much for hanging out with us here for a couple innings here and getting to be rewarded with the virtual video game Michael Curry delivering a 2-out RBI single.
Beast. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, look forward to not only just talking to you again soon, but seeing you on a diamond somewhere soon. And like we said, best of luck working towards the big leagues with the Padres. But all the best to you, your fiance Liz, and the rest of your loved ones.
All right, thank you, John.
There was Michael Curry, standout 2019 TinCaps outfielder, joining us here on our virtual broadcast here tonight. We'll step aside, and when we come back, it's the 4th inning, Fort Wayne and Great Lakes, and MLB The Show. The Fort Wayne TinCaps are bringing the delicious food of Parkview Field home to you. The TinCaps 5 meal kits include 5 complete meals. Worth of shopping and meal planning taken care of by the executive chefs at Parkview Fields. Kits can be ordered at TinCaps.com. We provide easy, contactless pickup right at the ballpark. Head to TinCaps.com now for this week's updated menu. Our thanks again to Michael Curry for joining us there for the last couple of innings. And again, congrats to the video game Michael Curry for coming through with an RBI hit, extending the lead here for fellow Georgia Bulldog Cole Wilcox.
One and one.
By the way, you just saw the commercial there for the TinCaps meal kits, and that's brand new this week, that the meal kits are portioned for a couple of people. Previously, the family meal kits with enough food for, it sounds like, at least 4 to 6, not to mention even some leftovers at that. But now the 2-person meal kits available to order at TinCaps.com. You've got until Monday to place your order. Pick it up not tomorrow, but a week from Friday, next week. And you can enjoy some of your Parkview Field favorites, some of the popular Parkview Field meals, your ballpark traditional food like hot dogs and brats, but some grilled marinated chicken, some barbecue, even tacos. Got to schedule that for Tuesday night, right? But a great opportunity to at least still get a taste of Parkview Field, pun intended in this case, while we don't have the real thing going on.
That's ball 2.
So whether you found us here on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, glad to have you along. And thanks to those who've chimed in the comments as well. And thanks to our own Morgan Olson for interacting with you in the comment section.
2 and 1.
But let us know where you're tuned in from and maybe what you're missing at Parkview Field, whether it's a favorite food item or a tradition here at the ballpark. Something that maybe in a virtual sense we can still bring to you here in this broadcast or on an upcoming show every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. In case this is the first time that you're tuning into one of our broadcasts, the rosters here feature, for the most part, successful alums from Midwest League teams, including Carlos Santana.
We got full count.
Borderline pitch, and the rookie Wilcox doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Now a full count for Carlos Santana, who played on the first edition of the Loons back in 2007. That's fouled back. They'll do it again. The Loons' Dow Diamond, just a couple years older than Parkview Field. Payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wilcox pulls the string, and it's another K. Question in the comments, does beer come with the meals? It is available as an additional add-on option, as are bottles of wine, and for that matter, some non-beer adult beverages like Truly and White Claw. So the full menu you can catch at TinCaps.com or by following the team on these social media channels.
No balls, 2 strikes.
And to Linda, you're welcome. Yes, ask and you shall receive. A.J. Przinski behind the plate catching for the Caps. And he receives a called third strike. 95-mile-an-hour heater. Peterson down looking. And the scoreless debut continues for Cole Wilcox. And so here's a look at Cole pitching for Team USA. He was on Team USA's collegiate squad last summer, in between his freshman and sophomore years at the University of Georgia. And you're talking about the total package here, just 20 years old, while he fell surprisingly to pick number 80. There was one mock draft that had him going as high as 17. MLB.com had him rated as the 23rd best prospect overall, and even in a shortened season at Georgia, it was a 1.57 ERA. Had a big-time performance against the Bulldogs' rival Georgia Tech when they were ranked in the top 20 in the country through a complete game shutout with 11 strikeouts and no walks. Last year when he had a full season as a freshman, he was on the SEC's all-freshman team. And when I talk about a complete package, I mean as a person, a business major who was on the SEC's all-academic team, going back to high school, more than a baseball player. He was a member of the Honor Society. For that matter, also played football and basketball, scored more than 1,500 points in his high school basketball career. And prior to Cole, the Padres last week selected Owen Casey, a 17-year-old out of Notre Dame High School in Brampton, Ontario. So when you think Brampton, Ontario, and Canada, you probably first think hockey, but the junior national team that Casey got to play for there in Canada has produced more and more professional talent that we've seen here in the minors and trickle into Major League Baseball as well. He is an outfielder, just like the Padres' first-round pick, Robert Hassel. And for Owen, looking at the scouting report on him, probably projects to play right field, has strong arm as a hitter. They say he has plus raw power in scouting terms, was committed to play in college at the University of Michigan. And a fascinating part of Owen's scouting report is that as just a 17-year-old, he has taken a strong interest in studying the biomechanics of hitting. So apparently from Aaron Judge to Jose Altuve, Javi Baez, some of the top big league hitters, he is breaking down the film to study the biomechanics of their swing. C.J. Abrams on base to lead the frame off, and now Przinski sends one out to right center. Diving catch by Calhoun, and he doubles up Abrams. Or not. The first baseman, Santana, was off the bag, and so Abrams makes it back safely. Here's the finest defensive play we've seen yet tonight, with Willie Calhoun, a current Texas Ranger, going full extension. Northeast Indiana's own Josh Van Meter. Nowadays a Cincinnati Red after playing here at Parkview Field in 2014 and 2015. Grounder cut off by Gavin Lux, and it's a 4-6-3 double play. Lux to Seager to Santana. Some strong defense behind Clayton Kershaw. It's 2-0 Caps at the end of 4.
Fans, direct your attention to the area in front of the TinCaps dugout. It's time for today's Rudy's Stack and Dash. Here's Austin with all the play-by-play action.
Thank you, Jared. We got two teams today in the Rudy's Stack and Dash. Closest to the baseline, we got Josh and Rebecca. They're going to be racing against Rob and Mandy closest to the dugout. Now, when I say go, one teammate, the stacker's going to run down, grab a tube, come back, put it around their partner. When all 4 tubes are around their partner, they are going to sprint around the staff member back to the finish line. First one, there's our winner. On your mark, get set, go. All right, we are off. Grabbing that first tube, running back, putting it around their partner. Pretty close, 1 tube in. 2 tubes down, 2 tubes to go. Slight lead for Rob and Mandy. But the dash, anything can happen in the dash. 4th tube, there goes Mandy. And here comes Josh. It's gonna be a close one around that staff member in the home stretch. Who's it gonna be? Photo finish, closest to the dugout. It's Rob and Mandy by a nose. Let's hear for all 4 contestants in the Rudy's Stack and Dash.
Thirsty Thursdays at Parkview Field, brought to you by Rudy's. Stop by Rudy's all weekend long and enjoy great beer from Fort Wayne and Indiana breweries. Plus, stop by their kiosk on the third base concourse for more details. Rudy's.
Oh and 1. No ball, 2 strikes.
Cole Wilcox continuing to impress here And what we're going to consider here is pro debut. Got him. Sizzling at 96 miles an hour for the 80th overall pick in last week's draft. So see you later, Corey Seager, and now Willie Calhoun grounds into the shift. C.J. Abrams playing in shallow right. So nobody on for Will Smith, an up-and-coming catcher at this point with the Dodgers. He had a brief stint as a Great Lakes Loon back in 2016 with the team for a month or so. Beat him with the heater. Up in the zone at 94. Cole Wilcox, have yourself a debut. Hey, you see a live look in the background there at Parkview Field. Sadly, no activity at the moment, but this place will be bustling on Saturday morning from 9 a.m. through 1 p.m. for the Fort Wayne Farmers Market, which is spaced out all around the concourse of the ballpark. So social distancing is in effect. Strongly encourage that you wear a mask while you're out here, but a tremendous way to support local small businesses. And in addition, the Orchard Team Store at Parkview Field will be open. That's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the meantime, though, use that promo code Johnny TinCap, was just showing you, Live15, for a chance to save 15% off if you shop the Orchard Team Store online at tincaps.com, like right now, during our broadcast, about midway through this game. So you got maybe 45 minutes or so to get online and shop at tincaps.com. Should include that there are currently some special Father's Day bundles available. And if you are the last minute type with Father's Day around the corner here on Sunday, well then, you better come out Saturday morning, early afternoon. Top of the order here for the Caps. It starts with Robert Hassel III. He was committed to Vanderbilt. Now, officially has not signed with the Padres yet, though that figures to get done. There's still more than a month until the deadline for draft picks to sign with the teams that they were drafted by. Two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Tennessee in high school. And you think there's a good chance that he's with the TinCaps. Most likely when a guy is drafted 1 year, then out of high school, then they make their full season debut the year after. Saw Trey Turner, though, drafted out of NC State in 2014, make a near immediate debut with the TinCaps later that summer. And he led the TinCaps to the Eastern Division Championship Series that year. Much different looking Clayton Kershaw today. This is what you expect from Kershaw compared to the last time that we saw him here in this video game season, when Fernando Tatis Jr. knocked him out of the game with a grand slam in the second. It was an ugly line for the multi-Cy Young Award winner. Tatis pokes this one towards the gap in left center, but Peterson chases it down. And the fifth is finished. Still 2-0 Fort Wayne.
Everyone on your feet, it's time for the Baby Shark Dance Cam.
Shark, do 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 do. Grandpa Shark, do 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 do. Grandpa Shark. Let's go hunt, do 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 do. Let's go hunt, do 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 do. Let's go hunt, do 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 do. Let's go hunt. Run away, do 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 do. Run away, do 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 do. Run away, do 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 do. Run away. Safe at last, do 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 do. Safe at last, do 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 do. Safe at last, do 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 do. Safe at last. It's the
There's a live look at Parkview Field in downtown Fort Wayne. Unfortunately, no Thirsty Thursday for the TinCaps and the Great Lakes Loons here tonight, so instead we bring it to you in video game form. But one of the guys who you've seen on the field here in this video game, Zach McKinstry, a Fort Wayne native, a Northside High School alum, joins us now on the phone. And Zach, thanks so much for giving us some time here on this Thursday night. And during this challenging period, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And so I know this year, congratulations to you, as you had a chance to be in Major League spring training for the Dodgers out in Arizona. Of course, as has been well chronicled, spring training shut down around the middle of March. So where are you talking to us from now?
Actually down in Phoenix, Arizona still, kind of central downtown area.
And so you've stayed there during this more or less quarantine period and continued to train for the upcoming season?
Yeah, just down here, was using some local parks at the time. Didn't want to go back home. It was a little chilly when it all happened, so figured I'd stay down in the warmth and work out at some fields.
Yeah, that's a pretty good plan. You got Zach McKinstry, the Fort Wayne native, and part of the Dodgers' big league spring training after being added to the 40-man roster in the offseason. So, and that's so awesome to see. Congrats to you. It wasn't too long ago that you were a Reds Northside baseball player, and then we did get a chance to see you in a Loons uniform back around 2016, a couple stints in 17 and 18 too. And here you are now in a video game. What's it like to see yourself in video game form?
Oh, it's pretty cool. It kind of looks like myself, not gonna lie, but yeah, it's definitely been a weird run at it, and I have a pretty good story, and I love telling my story. It's fun.
And so far in this game, Zach's the only Great Lakes player with a hit, so a good extra chapter to your story in a sense. And can you expand on that? Why do you acknowledge the fact that you are a great story?
Just going in the 33rd round and then working your way up through the organization as kind of a filler player, not really getting a lot of starts early on. I mean, I played with the Loons in 16 with the championship team, and then after that, it kind of felt like I was just more of a filler player, and they were trying to find places to get me at bats, and then finally help myself get into a starting role with the Double-A team this past season.
Yeah, had a outstanding campaign with the Dodgers Double-A affiliate, Tulsa, in the Texas League. And sorry for you here, Zach, that our intern, Zach, gives you no Fort Wayne favor as Cole Wilcox strikes out. Zach has been pretty determined playing as the TinCaps in this game. Not sure if you heard the team is 66-0, so don't feel too bad. I guess he threw you a bone with the hit before.
Yeah, geez, that's pretty good.
But yeah, as you mentioned, a late-round draft pick out of Central Michigan. I mean, I guess the story of you kind of overcoming the obstacles and adversity goes back to your time coming out of Fort Wayne itself, where there are just inherent challenges with being a ball player around here. You're not going to be as heavily recruited as guys from warmer weather states, and awesome that you came through the Fort Wayne Community School System at that too. So how have you been able to continue to prove people wrong and now really be knocking on the door of the big leagues?
Just staying confident with myself and just being true to myself and who I am, and knowing what kind of baseball player I was, just coming up. And I mean, yeah, coming through Fort Wayne Community Schools was a great thing for me. I mean, I have so many friendships from that. And I mean, my dad was a head coach at Northside for 6 years, and he was also he coached JV for another 5 years before that. So I was around Northside for 11 years before I even got there, and just walking around there and kind of knew the place already, and was just when I got to high school there, it was just like a dream come true, and finally got to do it, be on that field with those guys.
Yeah, and speaking of your dad and dreams come true, a memory that stands out for me having the opportunity to broadcast TinCaps games when you came through here in the past in 2016 is that your dad at the time during the summer was working a part-time job here at the ballpark as an usher. And in fact, he was actually working. He was on the clock when you were playing. I think at least one night maybe he got to have off and pay a little bit more attention to your action on the field. But yeah, what is your relationship with your dad like, and what was it like getting to play in your hometown in front of him?
Oh, it was awesome. Parkview Field is a great place for baseball. One of the best. I mean, it's voted one of the best every year. So you can't go wrong there. And then just in front of all my family, I think I had 150 people at that game, from people driving over from Toledo and all that stuff. So it was definitely awesome. Great experience. Got to hit a home run there in front of everybody. I think my quarterback coach, in high school, his dad caught the home run ball and then ended up giving it to my dad. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is so awesome, and just an amazing success story out of here in Fort Wayne, and now again close to accomplishing yet another goal and dream of becoming a major leaguer. During this time, while you've stayed back in Arizona and continued to train, and I'm sure there are some obstacles like you touched upon there, even in just trying to lift and have baseball activities, but what's been the focus of what you're trying to hone in on as you take yet another step in your career?
Yeah, just honestly, they kind of moved me into the outfield last year, started doing that. So just trying to understand the outfield a little bit more, and just going out there and just trying to use my infield skills as an outfielder. I know not a lot of it correlates, but first step reads and all that stuff. So I mean, just getting used to it out there, and getting the throws down and all that stuff. Just trying to be the best position player, utility guy I can be. Working on my swing a little bit out here with two of our big league hitting coaches, and I mean, it's been such a great atmosphere for me to kind of learn from them.
Yeah, and should point out too, your rise here all the more impressive in that it's taking place in the organization that, and any Padres fans who are tuned in here right now won't want to hear this, but the Dodgers have obviously been the best organization in the National League for the last decade or so, definitely over the last few years, as they themselves have been knocking on the door of winning a World Series. And you talk about how you've become a full-on utility guy in terms of your ability to play all over the field. It sounds pretty similar to the journey for a former TinCap from Northeast Indiana and Josh Van Meter. Did you play with or against Josh growing up? Have any relationship with him these days?
Oh, yeah. Josh and I played together when we were 11, 12, 13U. His dad was our head coach, and my dad was our assistant coach. So, we played a few years together, played against each other in high school. I hit a ball off of one of our pitchers that still hasn't landed in high school. That was pretty cool at Norwell.
Wow.
Josh is a great dude. Definitely always looked up to him. He knows how to hit. He's always been a student of the game. He's awesome to play with and play against.
Really cool, and as I'm sure you know, so many people proud of both of you guys and what you've been able to do, and look forward to seeing what you're still able to accomplish here going forward. Well, reflecting back on your time growing up in Fort Wayne, do you have any good memories of going to Wizards games or going to games in the initial days of Parkview Fields?
Yeah, I mean, I went to so many Wizards games growing up. I mean, there were so many pictures of us just run around on the old playground out in right field, and the deck out there when it would be empty during a week game or something. We'd go out there and, just run around. We'd have those tennis balls. We'd throw them on the field. It was a great time getting to go on the field and stand there and do the national anthem with those guys and with the Little League that I played for. It was awesome. Probably if we weren't playing a game, we were probably at a Wizards game. Growing up, it was pretty cool.
That's incredible. And so now I know you're the type of guy who is always willing to sign autographs and to help, give a little lesson to a young ball player. I guess, is that because, you remember being on the other side yourself not all that long ago?
Yeah, definitely. I look at those kids like, they're the next me. They're the next, Clayton Kershaw, Josh Van Meter, those kind of guys. So you always try to get back to the youth and just make sure that they know that you're trying to give back to them, and definitely sign as many autographs, because I thought that was the coolest thing when you get somebody that signs a ball for you, even if you don't even know who they are. It's just it was still really cool.
Yeah, and in case anyone was out here at Parkview Field a little bit clueless during your time coming in as a visitor and got an autograph ball from you, hopefully they hang on to that, because the value is definitely increasing, as we're joined by Zach McKinstry, 40-man roster member of the Dodgers. Got a taste of big league spring training this year. And Zach, can you tell us, what is it like getting to play with some of the best players in the entire world, in particular, again, with all the all-stars that the Dodgers have in that system?
Yeah, it's awesome learning from those guys. Kike and Chris Taylor, took me under their wing right away, and, we're just things in the locker room, and just showing up and doing what you need to do. They're not going to be, people aren't going to harp you to go to the outfield and take reps. They're going to expect you to kind of do it on your own, and so just learning from them and taking everything they say and just using it to my advantage, and playing next to Corey Seager and playing next to all those guys, Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger. It's just, it's kind of surreal. It's pretty fun just listening to what they have to say and how they talk about pitchers and how they break them down and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of pitchers here in this game now, that's going to be the end of the day for Clayton Kershaw, and we'll see how the Great Lakes bullpen fares with Josiah Gray. Is he someone who you ever played with? Were you teammates with him?
Josiah?
Yes.
Yeah, he came up last year into Double-A, and I'm pretty sure he carved up Double-A when he came up, and he's got some pretty good pitches, some pretty good stuff, and he's been working on all of his stuff this off season, and during quarantine, and he's been down here in Phoenix and throwing live VPs and all that good stuff. So yeah, I've seen him around. He's fun to play behind. He's a pitcher that's going to attack you and get outs and all that. Yeah,
and true to your word here, it's a ground ball right to you, and you were did him a favor getting the force out at second to retire the side for the TinCaps in the seventh. Well, Zach, don't want to keep you too long here, as I know you're busy, hopefully getting ready for some real action coming up here soon. But as we wrap up, I know you're pretty humble and keep your head down kind of guy. Can fans keep up with you on social media at all, or any message to the fans out there?
No, just, stick with us. We're going to hopefully get an agreement, and, just hang in there, and just for the love of the game, you just got to hang in there and deal with it, or just go with it, go with the flow, and just keep looking forward to baseball. It's going to be here, if not this year, next year, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys out there.
Great message. Well, thanks again for sharing some time with us and some great stories there too. Can't say enough. Congrats, and everyone's really rooting for you, and so best of luck.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
And best to you and your loved ones too, including, of course, your dad as a member of the Parkview Field family over the years. We'll talk to you soon, Zach. See ya.
Bye.
Well, an extra bonus treat here again to have Zach McKinstry with us on our broadcast tonight. And fitting that he had a strong defensive play there to wrap it up. So Clayton Kershaw, as we focus in on this game for a moment, Kershaw out, and yet Cole Wilcox, the rookie right out of Georgia, still churning. That fastball there still at 94. Swing and a miss by Seager. See the head-to-head comparison. While Wilcox has gone deeper, has allowed fewer runs so far, the difference in hits allowed staggering. Kershaw did have equally strong control. This follows after last week. In the game, we had Justin Lang, who was the second Padres pick last week, start and nearly throw a perfect game. But due to Kershaw's ability to pitch out of traffic, only 2 runs in. It's a 2-run game. Popped up towards the line and left. One away in the 8th.
Now batting, the catcher, Will Smith.
Former Fresh Prince of Midland, Michigan, Will Smith.
Ball in. Ball. 2-0. I got 2-1.
Well, our conversation with Zach there was so good we had to keep it going for multiple innings. We did, for the time being, we had to skip over the regular script with the Bad Apple Dancers performing at the end of the 6th inning. Know that probably a lot of you tuned in right now. Just like in real life when people are out here at Parkview Field, don't necessarily give a hoot about the baseball. You come for the dancing, right? So we'll give you some Bad Apple Dancers yet to come. And how about as the inning comes to an end right now?
Hands, give it up for your Bad Apple Dancers appearing at the end of the 6th inning of every TinCaps game.
There are the Bad Apple Dancers performing on a past Turn the Park Pink Night. Fernando Tatis Jr. turns on that pitch and smacks it to center for a base hit.
By the way, on Padres.com right now, you can see a cool feature with Fernando reflecting on the relationship that he has with his dad. It was great to hear from Zach McKinstry, the Northside High School alum, discussing the impact that his dad, even if his dad was never a big leaguer, had in molding him into the ball player and man he is now. Looking back on Fernando's time here in Fort Wayne in 2017, his dad was actually here exactly 3 years ago, leading up to Father's Day, and was here on that Sunday. And we got a cool photo of Fernando Jr. and Sr. posing together holding a bat. Speaking of father-son duos, Torrey Hunter at the plate. Torrey Hunter Jr. has played here at Parkview Field as a visitor, a prospect for the Angels. And a lot of people around here really best know him for being a wide receiver in the past at Notre Dame. Michael Curry on deck. In case you missed it, we had Michael with us live on the broadcast earlier. 2019 TinCaps standout. Patient approach for Hunter. It's a walk, and the TinCaps trying to add some insurance. Now have 2 on with nobody out for Curry. Curry had an RBI single earlier that made it 2-0. Hunter started the scoring.
Number 45.
But after Michaels retired, now it's the rookie Owen Casey, the Canadian. In the air, left center. And Peterson catches it. Tatis tags to third. Now it's runners at the corners with 2 away for C.J. Abrams, who is the 6th overall pick in last year's draft out of high school in Georgia, Atlanta area. Seen C.J. post on social media that he's been back home in Georgia and has actually, though, had a chance to train with a couple of other top Padres prospects. Luis Campuzano, who is a 2018 TinCap catcher, and a fellow Georgia native, plus Taylor Trammell, who was acquired by the Padres last year in a trade with the Reds. And Trammell, a guy similar to Zach McKinstry, who we were talking with, was in Major League spring training and is nearing his big league debut. That is whenever the big leagues return. To medium center field. It's down for a hit. And the TinCaps add to their lead. A defensive breakdown for the Loons. And rather than a hit, it is scored as an error. Seemed like a so-called can of corn for Willie Calhoun in center fields. And he lost it. So the misplay scores 2 with 2 outs. And the speedy Abrams got all the way to third. Now for A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski hammers it deep to right field. Goodbye. A 2-out, 2-run homer for A.J. Pierzynski, the Fort Wayne legend. And the Caps have broken it open in the 8th. Four unearned runs with 2 outs. The swing of the game. A 400-plus foot home run. 101-plus exit velocity And Josiah Gray knows that he should be back in the dugout with the inning over. Instead, a different story, and now a different pitcher, Edwin Uceda. Well, the way Przynski clobbered that one sounded like the story Zach McKinstry was telling us about Josh Van Meter in a game back when they were just teenagers. Van Meter keeps it going for the Caps. And it brings Robert Hassel back up. Hassel with a line drive to left. That's a hit. Padres' first round pick on base again. Two on, two outs for Trey Turner. It's a Seager. Out. They get the force at second, but with 2 outs, the TinCaps erupt for 4 unearned runs and are now in full control at the end of 8. Want to make one last reminder that the TinCaps meal kit plan has changed. The meal kit's now this week designed and portioned for 2 people rather than for a family of 5 or so. But you still do get 5 meals. The full menu you can find at tincaps.com or by following the Caps on social media. 5 meals and more. We're talking drinks, snacks, souvenir cups, all that for $100. It's a great deal and a way to help the TinCaps right now in the absence of a season.
Your attention, please. Now pitching. Number 50.
Well, after 8 spectacular innings from Cole Wilcox, it's now former TinCap Logan Allen who comes in here in what has turned into a non-save situation.
Leading off for the Dodgers.
Logan was with Fort Wayne back in 2016 and then the first half of 2017. As a matter of fact, one of the last times he was in a TinCaps hat was at the home of the Loons, Dow Diamond, for the All-Star game in 2017. And then shortly after the All-Star break, he was promoted by the Padres to High A Lake Elsinore. Last year made his big league debut at the Padres. And in case you missed that, well, you missed an amazing story. As not only did Logan get to become a major leaguer, he also won $1. And yeah, I'm sure his contract is for more than just $1, but he had a $1 bet with none other than WWE superstar John Cena. You can find that story online. And John Cena, shortly after Logan made the big league debut, then came to Petco Park in San Diego to deliver $1 to Logan and greet him with a big congrats. Backstory is they were having dinner at a restaurant separately, never had met each other before, a couple of off seasons ago, and circumstances arose in which they wound up sharing a meal together and sharing a real strong bond. And so John Cena thought he'd add a little extra motivation to Logan's big league pursuit by telling him he didn't think he would ever get there, that the odds were stacked against him. But Logan overcame that, with Cena really, truly wishing to be wrong all along. And there's some big league stuff from Logan Allen. The TinCaps are an out away from improving to 67-0 in this video game season, which may wind up being about the number of games that a big league season includes this year. Well, the Loons not done yet. A 2-out hit to left center. It's a double.
The white number 99. Alex
D. Gordon. Part of the 09 Loons. The Loons and TinCaps in 2009 played a pretty epic postseason series for the Eastern Division Championship. Best of 3 series, went the distance and then some. Fort Wayne won it in extra innings in a decisive Game 3, and then went on to win the first and only Midwest League title in the franchise's 27-plus year history. The Loons have 1 title, and they're 13 years so far. It came in 2016, and our guest from earlier, Zach McKinstry, was on the team at the time. He nearly got to catch the final out. It was on a windy Sunday afternoon. He was under the ball to catch it, and then the wind shifted it at the last moment. A teammate grabbed it. Well, the TinCaps grab yet another win. Logan Allen puts the finishing touches on a gem from Cole Wilcox, the rookie out of Georgia. TinCaps got a couple runs against Clayton Kershaw early, and then insurance added by Tatis and company in the 8th. So 6-0 the final here between the TinCaps and the Loons on MLB The Show. Well, thanks so much to everyone who tuned into our broadcast here, whether on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Could be expanding to Twitter shortly as well. But thanks to everyone who joined us for this one. We've got fireworks coming up. Even though in real life there's still splendid sunshine in downtown Fort Wayne. You can see the final numbers here. And a final thanks to our guests, Michael Curry and Zach McKinstry. And on top of that, big thanks to our producer, Tim Badgema, and Zach Webb, our video production intern, playing the game on PlayStation 4. Thanks to Morgan Olson and the rest of the TinCaps marketing crew and front office staff for their contributions to our broadcast here tonight as well. Stay tuned. Next Thursday night, Jack McMullen will be back. But this is John Nolan saying thanks for watching. So long, and for more, head to tincaps.com. But in the meantime, enjoy the fireworks.